Because raise your hand if you have cancer right now. We all do. You're born with it. So if you're born with cancer, then you have to make sure that you make sure it never develops. And so that's what we want to talk about, how to be a cancer killer. Because when we look at what's happening, every 30 seconds, somebody's getting diagnosed with cancer. When we look at those numbers, 1 out of every 8 women will develop breast cancer. In 2015, there was 1.6 million new cancer diagnoses. It's 2015, and where we are right now, 2 million. And it drastically increased when? After COVID. So there are turbo cancers. There are people that were having turbo cancer. Can you turn this off? There were people that were having cancer in remission for 20 years, but right after they got the COVID shot, cancer came back stage 4. My aunt, she took that COVID shot, and especially if you double boosted, that cancer came and she was gone within months. So many things, and they're showing you how, because the COVID shot, it does not leave your body. Just because you took it in 2020, 2021, guess where it becomes friends with? What does it wrap around? Starts with a D.
DNA.
Your DNA. It wraps around your DNA. What does your DNA do? It's your genetic code. So it's responsible for you being you. And now you have something attacking you being you, it's gonna go crazy. And so the spike protein never stops spiking. And it's constantly shutting down your body. And what's the most thing that happens for people who have, and it's not my COVID talk, but I talked about this last month, but what happens when that DNA frequency is messed up? What do you start to get? Blood clots. Oh. Look at Dion. Yeah. Major component of double boost. Get your, and he said, I don't know why these blood clots keep coming. We know.
Didn't he almost die too?
Oh yes, he's almost died. He's in the hospital right now. He's had 16 surgeries. Dion Sanders. And then I just had a new patient come in. What is she? How old is she? 47. She said she knew after she took that second vaccine, she had a heart attack. You seen the increase in heart attack? You seen the 20-year-olds getting cancer? So you have to have the don't get it plan. And part of that is if you did take that vaccine, or if you're sleeping with someone who did take that vaccine, then you need to be doing something to stop the spike protein from affecting you. So I'm going to talk to you about that. So we have a supplement that stops the spike. Another way, fasting, creating autophagy. Those are things that's going to help. But taking that every day, not only is going to have something called nattokinase, one of the main things that's in it. But nattokinase is made from the soybean. But it goes and research studies shows that it dissolves those micro blood clots. You might just wait till you get the blood clot where it's just paining you in your leg and you can't walk and you feel it. But if you looked at the movie Died Suddenly, they were so tiny, but there were accumulation of all these blood clots, and they just circulate until they lodge into the brain and they kill you. Or they lodge into the heart and kill you. So you have to be taking that. So make sure if you don't do that, make sure you purchase a spike protein, and it's just $80 to get you, because we used to do one for like $174, and you had the bromelain, and you had the nattokinase, and you had all the different things that you need that's going to stop this growth. But this is everything. And Dr. Peter McCullough, he's one of the top medical doctors, MDs, that researched this and saw, he's a cardiologist, all these people having heart attacks and everything, and they came up with this program to stop the spike. So I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but I feel like y'all needed to hear it, and God must have wanted you to know it, because you don't want to have that stroke. You don't want to have that blood pressure. Your blood pressure spiking. You're having the dizziness. You're having the Bell's palsy. All of these different things. You feel something weird coming in your mouth or your body, but it may not even be that you took the vaccine. You might be next to somebody every single day, because me, I've had to deal with a lot of spike protein. If anybody of you guys know that I started having double periods. I was bleeding so bad, my period was almost dying. And it's because I would come close and I would be adjusting somebody and I would feel my uterus tighten up. Severe pain. But when I would put back up, like, oh, it stopped immediately. Came back and finished adjusting them. I was like, did you take the Pfizer? Yeah, I just did it. When that happened, about 6 people, because it wasn't every person, it was certain people that Pfizer and Moderna. I had to stop adjusting those people. Dr. Z started having double periods as well. So we knew that it started causing blood disorders. Dr. Peter McCullough started talking about that one of the main things it did was stop fertility, cause blood clots, and we saw some people's uterus, when we did the COVID, we saw that their uterus, these ridges of their uterus was falling out in the toilet. I had blood clots this big. Losing all of my blood. I couldn't do a jumping jack. Couldn't do one workout and just trying to figure out what it was because I did not know that's what it was. I thought it was mold toxicity. Because I had mold in my apartment and they left the rug outside of my apartment thing and I never went outside and I would come home and I would kind of lie down and I would start coughing and I felt all of these different things and I felt weak. And then I saw that it was completely black. So I was like, oh, I gotta get this mold. I tested for mold and I had mold. I had mold in my body. So I have mold and the spike protein. So for me, it's not just one thing. Sometimes it's multiple things. And it's just enough to have that perfect storm to take you out. So I'm telling you these things, if you're having a struggle with, I'm doing so many things for my health. Look here. Start doing these things to take it. Not only is that spike protein gonna stop the heart attack, stop the blood clots, but it's gonna help you with your blood pressure. It helps you with a lot of different things. It helps you regulate all these different things to keep your body strong. So that's what we wanna do. We wanna avoid the iatrogenic deaths. Now what is iatrogenic deaths? It's medical mistakes and errors. And Death by Medicine reported that takes the life of over 700,000 people beating heart attacks and cancers, beating heart disease and cancer, by people taking the prescribed drugs at the right time, at the right dosage for their headaches, for their blood pressure, their numbness, their cancer, and they drop dead from the medication instead of the illness. So we want to show you how to heal your body from the inside out. When we talk about holistic, it's not looking at your body in parts. It's looking at your body in whole so that you can heal the body and the whole body can heal. So the things that I teach you is so the whole body can heal. The reason why we fire up the nervous system, the reason why we've been doing the red light is to fire up the body's ability to heal, function, digest, detox, and eliminate. That is what you're doing, and that's why you feel better, because all of these different things, and there's so much research. The medical research has been for years that they've just been hiding from you. So I give you a little bit. As you keep coming to the classes, you'll start to build up and you'll start to have your own defense to be your own doctor. Because the greatest doctor lives within inside of you. And so we gotta make sure that you're healing, we gotta make sure that you're functioning. Because Richard Nixon, 1971, said he spent $1 billion, okay, to make sure 1.6 to put war on cancer. And where are we? That was your tax dollars that spent money, and they used to, you know, the Institute of Cancer, they used to be saying that, oh, we're gonna find a cure to cancer, but now they just manage it. Because guess what? If they find a cure to cancer, who loses their job? The people. You see what I'm saying? So we have to make sure that we're not trusting the pink, wear your pink, and all of these things. Guess who's funding these things? The people that's making the cancer problems. That's why, I love pink, trust me. I love pink. But the thing is that I don't like what that pink represents, because KFC is promoting the pink. But they're not changing the antibiotic chicken and the chemicals in the chicken. You know? So I love that we are having, like, Frito-Lay and all these different people that they cannot put the same things that they are avoiding in Europe. They have the same product, but in Europe, they put the safer stuff. They use beet juice to color, and they put beetle juice, beet anise, the coloring for the anus that Starbucks use. They put that in the color our stuff. So,
Probably cheaper.
it's cheaper to mass produce, yes. Okay? How much are beets, So, 1 in 2 people will develop cancer in a lifetime. So, we gotta know what cancer is. So, when we look at health, those first 4 letters in health is healed. So, we gotta heal the cell. So, you have 2 layers of cells, and in between the layer of cells, a layer of fat. And so, for that fat, your body needs to detox. You want to make sure that the nutrients can go in and out. But if you're eating sugar, if you're eating bad fats and toxins every single day, guess what? Those cells are going to suffocate and die. And what happens if you cover up your mouth and cut off your oxygen supply? What's going to happen? You're going to die. Well, guess what a cancer cell is? A cancer cell is one that decided not to die. A regular cell, when you cut off the oxygen, when you feed it with sugar, when you don't give it the nutrients it needs, it dies. A cancer cell is the one that did not die. Now we have a life cell. We have a life cycle of 120 days that a regular cell should die. And so when that regular cell dies, then guess what? A new cell comes and replenishes. So every 120 days you can get new blood cells. But when those cancer cells that don't die, then guess what? That is how you get sick. You create 10 billion new cells every single day. So we gotta know how to fight it, okay? So the cancer is when the cells don't die. They begin replicating abnormally. And so we wanna make sure that your body is able to heal. So cancer is an adaptation process. Like if you're lifting weights, and your body does an adaptation right here, you create what? A callus. Now, is that callus created to harm you? No, it's actually to protect you so you can live more. So your body creates these abnormal cells that's there to protect where you keep damaging the cells. The body's gonna always do the most. It's gonna get you back to normal. Now, if you're in the tundra and you're so cold, guess what your body's gonna start to do? What's happening to your fingers? They're gonna go numb, and then you stay there, so maybe they're numb the first day. The second day, they're gonna turn black, and then what are they gonna do? They're gonna fall off. Why is that happening? Right what Tony said. Your body is going to go into survival mechanism. Does it need the fingertips in that moment? Or does it need to keep the blood supply to the heart? So it's making all the blood supply go to the heart. It is creating all the nutrients, and it starts to let die off what you can live without and protect what you can live. And so your body does that even with cancer. And so it is a survival mechanism. So I'm going to get into that so that you can know. All right. And at any given time, you have 100 to 10,000 cancer cells that are living in your body. Under normal conditions, your immune system is strong to fight off those things. So when your cancer cells come, your cancer cells were supposed to survive, to help you survive when you had that stressful day. Or when you did go eat some food that your body didn't recognize. But when you create a lifestyle of eating these toxic foods every single day, guess what you never turn off? You never turn off the cancer sequence. When you're eating mashed potatoes, when you're eating corn, when you're eating pork, and when you're eating, beef that's not grass-fed and different things like that, and, really try to move away from even the things that we do teach was the healthiest, because they still doing mass production and you don't know what their diet is, and you don't know how much of that are they actually just trying to get away with. You think they're just dumping all of these foods when they can just give it over to the consumer. So we want to make sure that we at least live a lifestyle of 80-20, with 80% where we are taking care of our body, eating the vegetables, fruit. In the Bible, they said that let fruit be your food, okay, and the leaves be for medicine. How much of herbs are you taking to allow your body to heal? I never knew they So, especially when somebody has cancer, I go and say, hey, we need to do a low glycemic food diet. Let's be on that. Let's get your body healing. Let's go on a raw diet. When I was at my sickest, I went on a raw diet, 50 days, no cooked food. Why? Because cooking food denatures the body. It damages the body. I only had fruit and cucumbers and strawberries and different things. And what I suffered with for 6 years was healed in 50 days. And I did 30 days and I was a lot better. And then I noticed that, I was able to not because even if somebody cooked pork or beef or something, even a drop of that would make me sick for like a week. And I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, I was at my wit's end with my body shutting down. So that wasn't like, I just decided that I can't live like this no more. So I'm not gonna eat anymore. I'm gonna see what happens. And then I started to feel better. So I was at my wit's end. That was the end for me. Okay? And then I started to feel better. I started to have relief. And then I was at a restaurant and I ordered a salad and they put a piece of bacon on top. And I was like, I can't have any meat on my food. They took the bacon off and did not tell me. And just because the juice laid on the lettuce, I was sick for 7 days. And I realized then that only a drop of it can get in your body and make you sick. And so some people have never decided to detoxify the thing that they want to live in. What if you never took your garbage out? How do you expect to heal when you want to live for 50 years, but you can't give yourself 30 or 50 days? And that was tough for me. Because I started still eating that meat because I loved it, and I would be sick and I would cry and I'd be in a corner. Felt like my legs were falling off, my skin was falling off. But after a while, I realized, okay, this is the trigger. And then after 50 days, I was able to eat whatever I wanted. Now in 30 days, then I was good for like maybe 4 months. 50 days, I've been good for 5 years. So, that's just something to think about. So, when we're looking at a normal cell, what does a normal cell use? A normal cell uses oxygen. So you must make sure you're putting oxygen in your body. You have to make sure that you're getting rid of oxidative stress in your body. Now, what are some ways we can put oxygen in our body? Exercise. And it expels that carbon dioxide. So you don't want to use a mask because you're supposed to put the oxygen in and expel that carbon dioxide. Now it's like sitting over the toilet after you're like, just taking it all in. That's what you do when you put a mask on. It's your metabolic waste that your body just got rid of, all these things you're expelling out every single day. So you need oxygen. Now, a cancer cell uses what? Sugar. That's its fuel. So do you want to feed and so what are some ways that we can feed our body with oxygen? No, just think a little bit. With food. Food, fruits, vegetables, spinach.
Food is not processed.
Live food that has not been cooked. Are you cooking every day? Are you sauteing your greens all the way down every day? Are you eating like some live juicing? Are you eating some live fruit with some enzymes, with some oxygen? H2O. Oxygen is in there. So all that water in your food is your oxygen. So that's what we want to do. Okay? So the sugar doesn't use the sugar, so the healthy cell doesn't use the sugar for the fuel. And it doesn't, cancer cell doesn't use the oxygen. So we want to make sure that we're in an alkaline environment. How do we get into an alkaline environment? What are some things that make you alkaline? Sugar? Roast? Macaroni? Pork? Pasta? Butter? Spring water, what else? Fruits and vegetables. So just as long as, we're gonna be doing our pH strips next week, so you're gonna see if your body's in the cancer state, is it killing cancer, or is it building? So if you're in an acidic phase, like drinking these sodas and different things like that, if we can take the rust off of battery acid, baby, what's it doing to you? Okay, so we want to make sure.
Dr. Krystal, what about that kombucha? Is that really good? Because you know what, I got that, but baby, I shook it up and it was just like, so I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
That's the probiotics in there. It's the probiotics. That's the healthy probiotics for your gut.
So
Now, with kombucha, you gotta get the one that don't taste good, because they're putting a lot of sugar in there to make you want it. So then you're not getting the alkalinity that you needed. Well, you could have did some like sweet yogurt. You can do, the probiotics and different things like that. Okay.
You like sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut, thank you. Yes,
Pickles.
sauerkraut. That's how you get it too. So your pickles, different things like that. That also helps them with the same thing. The fermented vegetables. Thank you for that, Larry, because I'm not talking about nothing that I'm prepared for. I'm just talking about. I'm just giving y'all whatever y'all want to know today. So it's a special class for you guys. All right. And then you need a nerve supply. So that nerve supply has to go and supply the gut. So if you do not have your spine in alignment, you're gonna put stress. You ever heard of getting on my nerves? Getting on your nerves is a real thing. When your spine gets on your nerves, you're gonna shut down. Now somebody can be sitting up here, Colin, and how was your day today? And what did you eat for breakfast? And you be like, yeah, I'm just doing my work. You're at the office, right? And then I'm calling, and then what do you do for this? And then we should really get together. And then, you're still like, your boss is in your ear on the phone, like, hey, we need you to come here. And Carla, girl, would you just leave me alone? That's what our body does. When the cancer comes, that's us, like, I'm at my way's end. That subluxation is there. That's when, I've been eating this bad food, and you're like, this burger is good. I'm not even losing weight. I'm not even gaining weight. This and that. Oh, yeah, girl, how about some Popeyes? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna put a little watermelon in there. I'm doing that today. Girl, let's go ahead and go to Chick-fil-A. They love Jesus, so let's be healthy. Where am I get this stomach? Oh my God, my stomach. I'm gonna eat healthy. You don't understand. I just had watermelon yesterday. Your body will not be able to deal with that stress over time. So you have to make sure that it's getting proper signals from the brain with the adjustment. You got to make sure you're putting the 80% of the good stuff in. So if you do have a cheat day, it doesn't show up in your health. You didn't cheat it too much. When it's sloppy, it's falling all. I'm like, ooh, you're showing, okay? So no, we don't want to do that. We want to heal. So we want to make sure that we have that environment for healing. Which environment are you going to thrive in? Green grass. You want green grass health. Because if you put all this dump stuff in your body, guess what's going to happen? You're going to die. And that makes so much sense as a visual that a visual that there's garbage here so it won't grow. But so many times we don't think about the stress and the garbage thoughts that we tell ourselves. That mental, I always tell people you can get adjusted all you want, you can eat all you want, you can detox all you want, but if you're living under chronic stress, you still gonna get sick. If you're not prioritizing you, if you're not prioritizing your peace, and you're not prioritizing creating a space where you can thrive and you can heal, it's coming for you, the big C. 1 in every 3 women, 1 in every 2 men. I don't want it to be you. I don't want it to be me. You have to prioritize your mental health. Because some of us are just taught to just go. But even if you have a Lamborghini and you going 200 miles per hour and you forget to put the fuel that car needs, you're gonna end up on the side of the road even if it's brand new. some of you guys are like, say, I don't have time to put $5 in. I'm gonna put $5 in. I'm gonna put $5 in. And now you're on a stretch of road, the $5 is not gonna get you where you need to be. And you're in the middle of the country, and you're fresh out of luck. And that's how we deal with our health. So we gotta prioritize our mental health. What does that look like? Time with God. Carve out time with yourself. Journaling. This is what happened today. When I do the red light, oh my God, that has helped my mental health so much. Not only does it de-stress me, but I listen to Christian meditation while I'm in there. It's the time that I can really, like that 15 minutes is so much for my body. I can feel my digestive system getting better. All of those different, my skin is getting better. I'm glowing. Like over time, your morning routine, your night routine, getting back to that, especially in January, we're gonna go through that, but your morning routine, your night routine. We don't want to talk about that, but that is so important, okay? And then we want to also make sure you put the proper nutrients in. How many supplements are you taking? Especially if you're cheating a lot. You need a supplement for everything. You need to be taking a lot of supplements. You need to be taking your multivitamin. You need to be taking your D3. You need to be taking your omega. You need to be taking your magnesium. You need to be taking your B complex. You need to be taking your curcumin. You need to be taking your CoQ10. How many are you taking?
That's a lot.
Well, you know what's a lot? Cancer. Going to chemo 3 times a week with your skin and your hair falling off, like your bones all brittle. New cancers are coming up from the cancer. Because we didn't have to do that 10 to 15 years ago. You just get your adjustments and you're good. But you got Wi-Fi coming in, 5G. You walk outside, you get hit. Your system's being hit. Your nervous system is so hard to deregulate. I'm taking longer on the table with people because everything is out, nothing's staying. So we gotta do more to keep your body healing. Or you need to go raw. You don't need to take all those supplements if you go on raw diet. You're not cooking your food and you're eating just fruits and vegetables. You might not even take any supplements at all. You don't have to. I bet you if you go raw, you don't take supplements. You got all your nutrients, all your vitamins that you need, all those food from God giving you exactly what you need to do. But if you know you're not going to do that, we got to do something else. What does this plant need? Dr. Nadia, what does it need? It needs love. What else?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Why do we need sunshine? Because we gonna get what? Vitamin D. So that's what that plant needs, that vitamin D. So what else it needs? Water. What do we need? Water. These are your bare nutrients. Are you getting your vitamin D? Are you getting your water? Because you know that does that thing need some Coca-Cola? Nope. No. In fact, what's going to happen, so when you put stuff in that the body doesn't recognize, are you going to detox, are you going to drink your water, are you going to do your activated charcoal to get this stuff out? As soon as I eat something bad, baby, I'm on oxy powder all day. I'm about to take my oxy powder, I'm flushing that stuff right out of my body because I don't want it to get a chance to sit in my gut and rot and cause my colon, and my colon's my second brain, and cause the cells to start to come back up, inflammation, all these different things that cause problems in the body. Give your body the best nutrients it needs. It needs water. It needs nutrients. You just need those proper amino acids and everything you need. We're gonna go through the essentials that you need too. So 100% of cancers are influenced by your lifestyles. It's not your genes, only 5% of your genes. It's from your lifestyle. So we can change that. It was in the Time magazine, epigenetics. Epigenetics shows that you can have a preloaded gun with your lifestyle, but you don't have to, you preload a gun with your genes, but you don't have to pull the trigger. That if you live a whole different life in your family, you don't have to have these things running through you. But I want to let you know your mama had breast cancer and you live in the same lifestyle, you can't do 20%, you gotta do 80. Or just know what's coming. videos to show.
Yoshinori Otsumi was born in Fukuoka, Japan in 1945. He started the seminal work from which he won the Nobel Prize at Tokyo University. This year's Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine is awarded for discoveries concerning autophagy. The word autophagy is derived from the Greek language and means self-eating, to eat oneself. In the human body, self-eating, autophagy, is a process by which our cells reduce their own components to release energy and to build new functional parts. Yoshinori Otsumi decided to study the process of autophagy in baker's yeast. Yeast cells contain a single large lysosome known as the vacuole. Otsumi found a clever way to visualize the accumulation of autophagosomes in the vacuole by making start cells unable to degrade the content of the vacuole. He then used this method to search among thousands of mutants for yeast cells that have lost the capacity to activate autophagy. This ingenious strategy led to the discovery that autophagy is regulated by a large number of genes. As many as 15 essential autophagy genes were identified in the first study published in 1993. Having discovered the autophagy genes, Otsumi moved on to the next question, that was to understand how the products of the genes work together. Thanks to this pioneering work, we have today a detailed understanding of the molecular mechanism of autophagy. We now know that autophagy regulates important physiological cells, and that defects of autophagy are associated with many human diseases. Through the removal of damaged proteins and organelles, autophagy promotes cell renewal. Failure of autophagy is therefore associated with cell aging and with many diseases of old age, such as Alzheimer's disease and type 2 diabetes. Finally, too much autophagy may have undesired effects. In cancer, as for example in cancer, where autophagy can promote the growth of tumor cells and the resistance to anti-cancer drugs. The discoveries made by Yoshinori Otsumi have been instrumental in revealing the mechanism and significance of a form.
Okay, so autophagy. What I wanted to let you know is that your body has a cell death. Your cells are supposed to eat up the cancer cells, eat up the damaged cells, eat up the Alzheimer's in the body. So how do we get autophagy if that's something that we want to do to help our body heal? What is one thing we need to do? Starts with an F. Fasting. When you fast, you're going to stop cancer cells. And so you also are able to allow the P53 gene that is responsible for destroying to cells, when the P53 gene is not activated, the cells don't die. So we want to make sure that it's activated so that cancer cells can die. So one thing we need to do, intermittent fasting. What time do you eat in the morning? So maybe you should start eating at noon. I eat at noon or 1 o'clock. Because I want my body to be fasting, eating cancer cells all night. I do a 16-hour to 20-hour fast. Maybe 10 is for you, maybe 12. So when you have your last meal at night, maybe it's like at 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning is your fast. That's a 10-hour fast. I would try to do the 9 so you get a 12-hour, but that's going to be better, especially when you do 72 hours, your immune system regenerates itself. So I do a lot of fasting, 3-day water cleanses, dry cleanses. I do a 3-day dry. I like the dry the best because I'm like,
No water?
no water, nothing, just going through for 3 days. And you look at that way because you've never tried it. But you're gonna have energy, And once you get rid of your mind telling you that you're hungry, you're not really hungry. It's not that I'm sitting there starving. So you gotta start small with, I don't just say, just start a 3-day fast and you have never done it before. Try do it 10, do it 12, do it 20. And then break through that and you see the emotional breakthroughs that you have. And then you'll start to see your energy come back, your gut, things heal. Really start a lot of positive things in my health. So when I started doing intermittent fasting, or 7 days. 5 days is the most I've ever done. So this one, can everybody see here? This is a natural killer cell. Your white blood cells have natural killer cells. So when we talk about killing cancer, right here, look here. So you can see here how that natural killer cell this cell is infected by a virus. So your natural killer cells come in and starts eating away, pushing in to kill off that cancer cell. You see how it gets in there? So it got inside. And then it starts chasing them things down. Eating the bacteria. This is what's happening to your body. Your body is a cancer killer. It knows how to eat. That's why they didn't want me to put that on there so I can take it off my presentation. Every now and then they won't let it come. Be like random, like, oh, it is normally my cancer, but I forgot. Yeah, so you have T cells that attack your cancer cells. Guess what's increased every time you get your adjustment? This process. The research shows that it does it faster. So when I say your adjustments help you become a cancer killer, it helps this process do it on a faster rate. So come in when you sit, come in with your immune system, come in so that you can allow this to happen at a faster rate. You can feel better and recover. You'll wipe everything down. But don't let it sit in it when you can get your body healed. Then you have the cytotoxic T cells attacking cancer cells. The red is the cancer cells. So you can see how it comes and it smothers it and kills it. And especially when your nervous system is working well, especially when you're taking your curcumin, your CoQ10, your cell detox, your perfection, all of these things, your PPQ, these things, the shilazine. I love our CoQ10 because all three of those things kill cancer. From the CoQ10, the PPQ, and the shilazine. You put that together, you're going to kill cancer on contact. The medical research shows it. Let's see this one.
The green cell you see here is a killer T cell of the immune system, which is attacking the
This
cancer
is your immune system, the T killer cell.
You can tell if the killer cell has recognized the cancer cell because the two dots move around and contact the target.
It recognized that there was a cancer cell, so it said, oh, I got you, put that red dot on it.
Passing the video through a filter makes the killer cell look yellow and allows us to really see how it focuses on the cancer cell. These killer T cells are constantly hunting down dangerous cells throughout the body and destroying them.
That's what we want. Isn't that cool? You are a cancer killer. So, I want to talk to you about a mitochondria. Anybody know what the mitochondria is? 6th grade science. What is it? Not the doctor in the room. Anybody else who's not a doctor? What is it? It's the inside of the cell. But what does the mitochondria, what is its major job that you want it to do? Well, what is it? Tell them, Dr. Nadia.
The powerhouse, right?
It's the powerhouse of the cell. Do you want the power?
Yes.
Do you want energy?
Yes.
Well, your mitochondria is the power in each cell. And guess what? Your body, your ATP is like the batteries that's made every single time to give you that energy every day. So if your energy is depleted, your mitochondria is affected. It comes from your lifestyle. Your mitochondria is not working, your power. When you get adjustment, guess what's tapped into? The mitochondria. It starts to allow all of the ATP, the energy molecules, to get through the cells, and you feel it activated. Also, when you do the red light, mitochondria. Okay? So, mitochondria also triggers apoptosis. So it can say, hey, that cell is 125 days, you should have died by now. Get gone. Let's get the new cells in. Okay? Anybody know what oxidative stress is? Oxidative stress, you ever think about an apple and you cut it open? What's gonna start to happen to the apple? Oxidative stress. So what's happening to those cells? They're dying. So when you have oxidative stress, now a lot of times people put what on it to stop it from browning? Lime and lemons. Why? Because it's going to alkalize it and make it. Now, lime and lemons are not acidic on contact. Like once you put them in the body, they turn alkaline. But you are allowing the cell death to stop. So that's why we want to eat these. Is it like all coming together? Like this thing makes me so excited. Like you have the cheat code to your health. Like, oh, I put this on it to stop turning it brown. Let me put it in so it stops turning my brown leaves brown. My leaves need to be green, not brown. Because when the leaves start to die, what's happening? Yeah, so when the apple starts to turn brown, so when we do metabolic testing, and you say, we do a test here, and we can see if you have high levels of oxidative stress, what does that mean? Cancer cells are building. Those cells are turning brown. We can know that. We have testing, our metabolomic test that we have. It will tell us if you have oxidative stress to see if your body is already in a cancer state, is already fighting cancer. So we can do that for you. But we want to suppress the mitochondrial oxidative stress by tapping into that. We call it biohacking. These longevity things that I'm adding in here, like the chi machine, then you just do this chi. So we just have a chi machine, and so what does it do, Candace? Like, how do you tell them about it?
So you laying out with the and vibrate section, which really exactly where so it kind of works your body for you, your lymph.
Gets rid of your lymph system. What's your lymph system? The garbage system of your body. So especially if you've been feeling a lot of like a lymphedema, a lot of like swelling in your legs and your feet. You got all this inflammation process. If you have herpes, it's really good for that because most times that virus is supposed to just get out of your body, but if your lymph system is slow, then guess what? You get the herpes 1, 2, shingles, all of that. Your lymph system is supposed to flush it out. Now, also red fruit is very good to help that, but it creates ATP, oxygen, and guess what? The chi machine taps into the mitochondria and stops the oxidative stress, so it helps with apoptosis. Every therapy that we have in here, from the infrared sauna, to the chi machine, to the adjustment, to the red light, it taps into the mitochondria and helps to stop the oxidative stress, the cancer cells, all of those different things to help your body heal.
Is that the cheetah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know what that was. I thought it
That's
was
the cheetah. We're going to be getting some more, but that's just our first one.
Let's talk about the most important benefit of autophagy, and this is going to surprise you. Now, if you're not familiar with autophagy is a condition where your body is recycling damaged or old and not needed proteins in the body. I'm not talking just about hair and muscle. I'm talking about those little enzyme protein machines that do the work of the body. Those are the things that make body tissue, and they're at the cellular level. When those are damaged, autophagy is a system to clean those out of the body and recycle them, okay? So autophagy decreases the risk of chronic disease. Autophagy will help recycle protein as a survival mechanism. For example, one of the triggers for autophagy is fasting. So that would be kind of a similar thing to starvation. So the body kicks in this mechanism to help become more efficient so as to survive longer. So it'll take the protein it doesn't need, recycle it into new tissue, and even use it as fuel. Also, autophagy can help reduce pathogens in the body, and it protects the neurons as a survival mechanism, the heart cells, and gets rid of what's called advanced glycated end products, which basically means like sticky proteins that clog things up, as well as plaque in the brain. So it cleans up all this damaged protein in the cells. That's what autophagy is. But the most important function of autophagy is anti-cancer. So let me explain this. Now, the difference between a normal cell and a cancer cell has to do with this one thing, and that has to do with this. In a normal cell, you have respiration in the mitochondria. What does that mean? Well, fuel is converted through a machine to make energy currency in the body. It's called ATP. So you have fuel, like glucose, that uses oxygen to then be burned. And that's the energy currency of the body. So in a normal cell, you have something called mitochondrial respiration. The mitochondria is the energy factory, and respiration has to do with breathing or oxygen, okay? So a normal cell needs oxygen to generate fuel. Now in the cancer cell, there's damage to this respiratory mechanism. So this motor with the carburetor that uses oxygen is broken, okay? There's irreversible damage. So what happens when you damage that system, as a survival mechanism, this cell starts to activate an ancient pathway that is able to ferment glucose, which basically is a way of breaking
So
it
yeah,
down.
that was just another way of telling you that autophagy is going to help with the metabolism. All right, so 5 treatments for cancer. So what we normally do is chemotherapy. Do you know where chemotherapy came from? Mustard gas. Chemotherapy was warfare. Mustard gas. And guess what? Chemotherapy only kills the fast-growing cells. It does not kill the slow-growing cells. That's why it always comes back. They only kill the new ones, but it comes back. But then also you get damage from the chemotherapy. So we want to make sure we're not doing that, okay? So the lactic acid causes severe acidity, okay? So we want to make sure that we're avoiding these types of things from chemotherapy and radiation. Both of them cause new tumors. And only 9% of oncologists do chemotherapy according to the research because they see what it does to their patients. Most people you know did not die from the cancer, they died from the chemotherapy. So, most cancer patients in the company, they die of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy does not eliminate breast, colon, or lung cancer, according to Dr. MD Levin. Okay? So we have to realize we need to get to the root cause. All right? And then also, chemotherapy has a 5-year survival mechanism. Okay? 5 years. And it's only 2% successful. These are the side effects: death, poisoning, stroke, suicide, destroying your immune cells, all of these different things. That's what chemotherapy does. Mammograms. Mammograms are terrible for you. Mammograms actually cause more cancer cells. They harm and smash those blood vessels, and they cause a lot of metastasis. Okay? So, that's what the research shows. That, you know, I can give you a lot of information on that, but breast cancer, it causes metastasis, it causes new blood cancers. Okay? So when you take a mammogram, it's equivalent to 1,000 x-rays that we take. All right? So 52% increase in breast mortality in young women. Okay? So causes 75 cases of breast cancer for every 15 that they identify. Mammograms cause 75 new cases, according to the research, of breast cancer when it identifies 50. Okay? So, surgery. Now, I'm not that opposed to surgery, but just note there are risks that it does cause metastasis, immune function, new blood cells, angiogenesis, new blood cells to the tissue, to other organs. When you cut on it, then whatever there was, that's why we don't like to do biopsies. When you do a biopsy, guess what? Whatever that body was warding off, the tumor or parasites inside of that parasites. So if you have cancer, number one, do a parasite cleanse. If you never did a parasite cleanse, 1 in 3 people have parasites What it's showing is that the tumor is parasites inside of there. They create a biofilm around it. So you have to be doing clove, wormwood, black walnut hull. You know, I know we've already beat that to death in the parasite class, so I didn't go through that with this one. But most of you should have already done the parasite cleanse. So definitely do that, okay? But the body wards off that. So when you do that puncture, that's why, you know, now one thing it does give you peace of mind that, oh, okay, I don't have cancer. But if you do, it's going all throughout your body and it's gonna cause you to die quicker. So why not just, if you do have the lumps, like Shiloh, she had the lump in her breast. What did she do? She did the red light. She did oxygen therapy. She did the lymph therapy. She did her adjustment. She did all my supplement protocols. And guess what was gone? Too much. Y'all can talk to her. She was be glad to show you. 2 to 3 months, it was gone. Whitney too. She did some of the therapies next door, right here. But recently, guess what? She stopped doing all those things. Guess what? Started coming back. So guess what she's doing now? Doing it again. So you have to keep going, especially if your lifestyle is killing you. Okay? So, radiation also causes new cancer cells. Alright, thermograms. Do the thermograms. It can be of your whole body and you can be able to tell what those are. Ultrasound, I really like ultrasound. So I go to her scan. Her scan, you know, there's some bad rep about ultrasound. I'd rather get the ultrasound because it's, you know, it's the safest for me and it's really definitive. And I feel like it's more definitive than a mammogram because it can pick up what mammograms can't. Okay, so I love that. It's like $200. You can go and go to herscan.com and get it. And a few of my people, they found out they had stuff they didn't know that was in there. They were at stage 4. Okay, so getting that done. Also, perfect imaging. So this one is really good, but this one, this is Dr. Jean Simmons. She's an MD. She's an oncologist. Hated all of the traditional mammograms and different things like this. So I learned a lot of the information. So you have to fly to her. I'm going to go get mine just to check. I have to set up an appointment in December. It's very definitive to make sure that you don't have, because I had some fibrous tissue in my breast, and the doctor wanted to know, oh, it could be a cyst, it could be, you know, it could be whatever. But I don't want to do a biopsy, so instead of doing a biopsy, I'm going to go and get that testing done. So, yes. Also, you're going through these x-ray body scanners. I do the pat down. People thinking I'm crazy. Or I do TSA, okay? I'm not going through those things. They're gonna say it doesn't cause cancer. Yes, it does. They've been abandoned in other countries. So watch that when you're trying to get healthy. Okay? The biopsy and survival rate. In there is telling you that there's a correlation that your survival rate when you've had a biopsy is less. You do not get the results that you need when you've had the biopsy. So, we want to get rid of that. But look at this. This is from the National Library of Medicine. This is the top journal that medical doctors use. What did they find out? That they found out that the patients that took 90 milligrams of CoQ10, that within how many weeks was it? I think it was 12 weeks, 3 months. Well, so high-risk cancer, they had a partial tumor regression with 90 milligrams. But the people that took 300 to 390, completely no palpable tumors when they went back to the doctor. What did they take? 390 milligrams of CoQ10. There it is. All right, so you want to make sure that you are fixing up. We already beat that by making sure we get the deficiencies out. Making sure we do oxygen. So doing oxygen therapy like the Chi, the ozone. We do ozone IVs. We actually take your blood out. We filter it with oxygen, put it back in. Now that's really like a cancer or a metabolic program or somebody with MS. We love to do that. Hyperbaric chamber. We're going to be using the infrared sauna, some ozone chambers pretty soon. We're going to get ozone in there so you get the ozone oxygen while you're doing the sauna. But infrared has so many different properties as well. So red light is at 600, so the nanometers. So they're talking about the nanometers. So you want to be at 660 for the red light. So the light goes in and causes the mitochondria to be fired up, and it helps to detoxify your body and heal your body. So So wherever the red light stops the frequency, the infrared starts the next frequency. So they work hand in hand doing the red light and the infrared. So the next wavelength down is the infrared. They just do different things and heal at different levels. But really love this for blood vessels, for the heart, detoxifying, getting rid of heavy metals. But the red light does all those same things too. So we're gonna have packages where you can just do whichever one you want to do that day. We're gonna make sure that you can just get a package. You can do you can do infrared, you can do red light, you can do all these different things, and you can just pick the one that you want. So that's what we're gonna be doing to help you heal. But make sure you're juicing. Make sure you're taking your CoQ10. Making sure you're taking your greens. All of these different things to help you heal. So love to take my powder greens, okay? 70 organic plants and premium greens to get you what you need, digestive enzymes. If you're not pooping, you're gonna get cancer. 80%, if you're not pooping, 80% of your immune system is in your gut. If you're not pooping, 1 and 2, 1 and 3 is gonna be you. You gotta be pooping, you gotta be eliminating it out. You gotta make sure you give your cells what it needs. How's your minerals? Are you taking minerals? How's your vitamins? How's your live enzymes? That comes from fruits. What about your fatty acids? That opens up the cells to detox. These are your basic things you need to do to heal. Just like that plant needed, you just need a little bit more. Antioxidants to stop the oxidative stress. What are some ways we can do that? Teas, berries, fruit. They do this stuff. You get your live enzymes from fruit. You get your vitamins from fruit. They're gonna heal, okay? And your amino acids, you get that from your meats, but if you're vegan, you can get that from like spirulina. You know, spirulina has more protein than steak, 2 steaks. So you can get that in your plant proteins, your smoothies and different things like that. I love vegan, but I don't like vegans that eat like a lot of sugar and flour and all this kind of stuff. You need to eat clean vegan. All right, opening up the cell. We talked about the fatty acids. Okay, sugar decreases your immune system by 4 to 6 hours. Okay, causing all of these different damage to the body. So we want to avoid that. So okay, they're really tripping out. So this one, I'm gonna have to send these videos, but this one is just showing how vitamin D3 causes the cancer cells to shrivel up and die in the breast tissue. So they don't want you to hear it. They don't want you to know it. And I downloaded this video too. So they're really trying to trip, but this was just the study that they showed. Joey, you can go online and find it. But yeah, so within days, it caused, in the research, they showed that when you put that vitamin D3, it caused those cancer cells to shrivel up and die. Okay?
I got a question about D3.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I think 10,000 IU of D3. And then, but my, I guess my number got really, really high. So.
Yeah, so just scale off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you do testing and see. But most people are really deficient. So then go down to 5,000, get off it for a little while and get back on it. But you need to, as long as your numbers are good. But I will talk about that for vitamin D3, what the numbers really are. Because I'm gonna talk about that in this slide, because a lot of times they're only telling you that your numbers are so high just to get rid of rickets, but not fight cancer. So we're gonna go through those numbers. I got that in the slide. But yes, curcumin. Research shows that it kills cancer cells. I mean the stem cell of the cancer. The ones that the chemotherapy couldn't get. Remember I told you the slow growing ones? The curcumin shows in medical research that it gets rid of the blood supply, starves the cancer cell, tumor suppressor, stop metastasis, stops the regrowing the cancer stem cells. And this was research from MD Anderson, was the top medical research center. But they didn't give nobody curcumin then, just chemotherapy and radiation. Okay? Garlic! Take your garlic, y'all. All right. Do your juicing. Ketogenic diet. Make sure you're increasing your healthy fats, your avocado oil, 500-degree burn temperature, olive oil on low temperature, making sure you do your coconut oils, a moderate intake of protein. So make sure that it's like 20% if you're gonna do the beef, make sure it's 100% grass-fed beef. Make sure that it is pasture-raised, free-range chicken if you're gonna do that, turkey, or just eliminate it altogether, okay? If you're gonna do shrimp, then make sure that it's wild-caught, but it's still a bottom feeder, catfish is bottom feeder, detox that out your body. You know, I was at a fair the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat some of this shrimp. Oh my God. I was on the toilet all night. I was like, it's just out of me now. You know, so that's what we want to do. All right, so detox, vitamin D3, not the fair festival event. But yes, omega-3, omega-6, that's gonna open up the cells. Y'all know, check your pulse. These are two things. You feel something there, you need D3, you need omegas. Okay? And Tony, you might be getting it from your food and stuff. You got to pulse your line, you need that. Okay? So, make sure that it's at the right levels. Okay? So, we're talking about the serum level. So, we say rickets, that serum level would be, they're going to be at a 16. Okay? But when we want that, the breast cancer, we need to be at 52. So just make sure your blood serum levels are at 52 to fight breast cancer, to fight colon cancer. It needs to be at 42 for the research to kill that, okay? For diabetes, 52. Kidneys, 46. So just make sure your blood serums are at the higher levels, and it's not just a medical, it's actually at preventative stage. Okay? PET scans, they put sugar into the PET scan to find out where that cancer is, because, you know, sugar feeds cancer. So it's gonna go right there and eat that. So, no sugar. Curcumin, again, in National Library of Medicine, that it converted that mutant PT53, the one that kills to start killing cancer cells. It converts it to kill it, to curcumin. That's what we need to be taking. If you have these dark marks on your breast, okay, something's going on in there. Men and women.
Something that you can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, brown. You can see it physically, like at the top, darkness at the levels are pulling on your nerve. Pain on one side that doesn't go away, dimpling or puckering, okay? Discharge, swelling and darkness and redness. On one breast is coming up. Men and women, we all have breasts, okay? So look at those things. If you have an antiperspirant, it gets trapped right underneath here. Y'all need a break? Okay. Okay.
Just for 2-3 minutes. I'm sorry. It's time for us to stay out too late.
Okay, we'll have a little 5-minute break and then we'll get started. We're almost finished, you guys. Got probably like 20 minutes left.
It's been a